Hello, I'm Jomika, and welcome to another Bedrock tutorial. Today, we are going to be focusing on the witch farm. So if we take a look here, this used to be an old witch hut, and as you saw, a witch spawned and immediately fell down. There's a killing chamber down below. If there are any updates to the witch farm, I will leave a little tag up in the upper right corner there. So yeah, just keep an eye out for that. If there's anything new, it will appear there. This is not supposed to be open. But if we head down here, we can see that that witch is being pushed around. And this is the killing chamber. So if we put in a trident in here, the witch will start to die. So we could just throw 2 in there. Well, we just got 1, but that's fine. We'll pick that up. And then if we take a look down below, this is all being sent down, but of course I broke it at some point. I don't know what happened there, but that is broken. We'll get that fixed, and then we can go ahead and start to pick up those items. So let's go ahead and we'll get started on this build. So the first thing you want to do is you want to find a witch hut. The best way to do this, I just loaded in a new world, and the first thing you want to do is find the seed, and then from there you can go to chunkbase.com, click on apps, and then you want to do the witch hut, and then you want to type in your seed here. So I'll go ahead and type that in, and then once I have it in, I'll join you back. Okay, so we got the seed in here, and then if you zoom out, these are the witch huts in the area. This one is probably the closest from 0, 0. So we'll go ahead and zoom in to there, figure out the coordinates at the bottom in this area. So that is negative 3,600 about. We'll write that down, and then 1,800. Then we'll go back into the game. If you are in survival, you'll have to get there on your own, but since I am in creative, I can go ahead and type in what I want. So we'll go ahead and go about here, like that. And then if we come in here, we are in a swamp biome, so that is good news. And there is our witch hut. So now that we've found it, you want to go ahead and kill the witch, and then we can go ahead and set up a way to find out where the witches actually spawn in this hut. They actually only spawn in 1 block for every witch hut. It is a little bit different, so I can't just say, oh, this spot here is where they spawn. So we'll go ahead and dig out all this, and then go ahead and set up some stuff to try and find out where the witch actually is. So the method I like the best is to use glass panes. You would just come in here and place glass panes everywhere, because mobs kind of spawn in the corner of blocks, and then you would just go ahead and fill this in, make it all dark, and what's going to happen is a witch is going to spawn in here. Chances are they're not going to spawn outside of the glass that's in here, but if you're having problems, I would expand this out to maybe here and put some extra glass in there. But every time I've done it, they've ended up being in here. So yeah, when a witch spawns, it will spawn in between these 4 blocks, and it'll end up in between one of these glass pane areas. Another way you could do it is just use regular glass, and this will kind of save a little bit of time later. Maybe not time, but it could save some headache. And you just kind of do this, and then wherever they end up spawning, they'll kind of end up like in here or in here, and then wherever they end up, you can dig down later. So why don't we do this method, and then we'll go ahead and show you the other method. So then once you have that filled up, you want to go 24 blocks away from the building. So we're at 1816 at the top. So that's going to bring us out to 1830. And then we'll go ahead and wait here for a little bit. Since I have commands, I'm going to go ahead and kill everything in the area. That'll kill any mobs that are in the caves, and then witches should spawn pretty quickly. So let's go ahead and check, just see. No witches yet. Sometimes it takes a while, sometimes it's pretty quick. So we'll just wait here for a few minutes, and then we'll come back and take a look inside the witch hut. Alright, we'll go take a look again, and if this is taking a really long time, that's just because there's mobs in the area. So what I would do while you're waiting is go try and cave. You're going to have to do this anyways, but light up any caves in the area, light up the grass here if it's nighttime, and yeah, if this is blocked off, you should be okay, and there's no mobs in the area. So we have a couple witches in there, and that means we can go ahead and get rid of those, and then this will be our block to drop the witches down into our killing chamber. So yeah, that is step 1 complete, or I guess step 2. Step 1 was finding the witch hut, and step 2 is finding where the witches spawn. So this little block here is going to be our drop chamber. So from here, you're just going to want to build a little drop chute down 24 blocks again. I'm pretty sure it's 24. I'll double check that. But you want to go down enough to where they get injured, but they don't die. And we'll go ahead and dig that out, and I will reconfirm all the numbers for you so you can make sure that you dig down the correct amount of blocks. So the correct number is 28 blocks down. So we started at level 66 is kind of where they're spawning at. So if we put a block here, this is the spawn level, we're at 66. If we break that out and go down, we will end at 38. So make sure you go 28 blocks down. If we go ahead and summon a witch in from the top, they'll fall, they'll land, they'll survive, but just one hit. So if we go down one more, they will actually automatically die. So we want to go one block up, and that will keep them nice and low on health. So if you want to turn this into, well, it will be an XP farm. It'll just make it easier. And then if you just wanted to punch them, you could do that too. So we'll go ahead and go up. We will try the other method of glass. And yeah, I'll set that up, and then I'll show you how that looks as well. All right, I set up the glass. If we break in here, we actually do have a witch. And she spawned right in between these 4. And as you can see, there's that block there from earlier. That's where they were spawning. So we can go ahead, break these out. These 4 blocks are going to be the blocks we want to use. So it was kind of using these, it was an estimate of where they spawn. It was an accurate description of where they will end up. So we'll break that one out. You can kind of do both. That'll be the easiest way to figure out where to dig your hole, because sometimes if you place the glass blocks in and they get pushed out, they'll get pushed out in the wrong direction. I know there is a direction, but I'm pretty terrible with north, south, east, and west. So yeah, we'll go ahead and do both of these. And yeah, this shows that they are spawning right in between these 4 blocks, and then they will fall into this when they get pushed out. So we can go ahead and do this. Put one there, and one there. So if they spawn right in there, they will be pushed out into this block. And then with these, we can just go ahead and fill that in so nothing else will spawn anywhere. You will get the occasional spider, but if you've mob spawned or mob proofed everything else, that one spider isn't really going to matter, and it'll just kind of act as a pusher to push the witches down even better. So with that, we can go ahead and get rid of the rest of this witch hut if you want. You don't have to. Personal preference, it's kind of up to you. I like to make things look a little bit better if I have time. I don't always do it in my worlds, but I'm going to go ahead and do it for this one just to make things easier to see and kind of show you what you can do with stuff. So we'll go ahead and break that out. We are going to need the wall here, so they will still spawn during the daytime. but everything else can go. So here is our witch spawning area. It's just a 2x2 platform. I missed a block here. 2x2 platform with the hole for them to fall down. And yeah, they'll all spawn in here as long as you're 24 blocks to 48, I think it is, away from this hut. If you're down near the killing chamber, then they should be spawning just fine. As far as mob proofing up top, to increase rates, you want to make sure you fill in areas where mobs can spawn, but you also want to torch them. So you want to... It's kind of a weird thing where it checks to see if mobs can spawn on the block, and then it checks for light levels, and then if no other mobs can spawn, it will go ahead and spawn a witch here. I like to do it like 3 chunks out. So if we go here and go out like, what is it? 16 times 3, it's 48 blocks. So we'll go 48 blocks out this way. We'll fill in all the water and then also torch everything up so no other mobs can be spawning. We'll do that all the way down to the bottom, and then we'll go out a little bit and do the caving, light up all the caves as best we can to keep the rates as high as possible. So I'm going to get this all set up. Actually, I'll probably go into the other world in a second and then just kind of show you what I'm talking about so I don't have to do all that work again. But we'll go down to the bottom now and we'll go ahead and set up the killing chamber so we can automatically kill the witches, and this will become a fully AFK witch farm. Okay, so we are at the bottom of the killing chamber. Just so I'm not confused, I'm going to bring that in. So this is where all the witches drop. We're going to want a little 2x2 area. So we'll fill that in. And then we want to go down by 1 level. And it's super easy to do. We're going to put a dropper. We're going to need 4 droppers. We're going to need 4 observers. Whoops, we're going to need a few regular blocks, and then we're going to need 4 pistons. So we can go ahead and accomplish this by putting a dropper in each of these 4 corners. Is that right? I think that's right. And then, let me make sure I do this right. It's going to be dropper, observer, block, dropper, observer, block. And then just complete this in a circle, and we should be okay. And then we're going to place pistons facing in on each one of these blocks. So that should be everything we need. And then from here we can get a lever. We're going to go ahead and place that just right here. Turn it on. And then off again. And this should automatically start. Anything that falls in here will actually get pushed around right now because we don't have any tridents in there. But if we put a trident in there, we will actually see the trident moving around there. And then that trident will go ahead and hurt any mobs that fall down. So all the witches that fall down, there'll be like half a heart left. They'll touch the trident, and then they will die and drop all their pieces. So from there, we need to actually do the collection system, which is also very easy. I'm actually going to put a block there. We're going to open up this side. We don't actually need it open at all. If you just stand right up against the wall, you can collect the experience through the wall if you're interested in the experience. And then down below, we're going to have hoppers and a minecart. So we are going to get some hoppers. We're going to get the hopper minecart, and we're going to get some chests. So from here, everything's going to be pushed around. We only actually need 1 hopper and 2 chests. because we're going to be collecting everything in the hopper minecart. So we'll put this, I did this wrong. We'll go ahead and put that one right there. Go ahead and get rid of that. Put that there, and we're going to need a rail. Place the rail on top of the hopper, and then place the hopper minecart on top. And we can go ahead and seal that in if you want. You don't have to, but if you are going to seal this in, I would use stairs or some sort of block like that. You can even break this. And then any items we throw in the middle that isn't the, whatever that's called, the trident, is going to go into the hopper minecart and into the chest here. So the witches will fall down, they'll die, and then all their drops will be collected here. One good thing to do is get a sword with looting 3 on it. And if you just stand here with your sword and you're the one that threw the trident, you will actually get looting 3 drops from the witches and all their experience sent to you. So that is a good thing to do if you're going to be AFKing. It's also very good for mending all of your tools. So we are back in my other creative testing world. This is the witch farm that I had created first. This I just put in glass to make it look cool for the intro. If you want it to work during the day, you do not want that to be glass. So we'll go ahead and turn that to some sort of solid block. We're going to use concrete. But as you can see in here, we have the 3 pieces of glass, the floor, and then the hole in the floor down to the bottom. We'll fill that in. And then right here, you can see we go out 3 chunks in each direction with all of the grass filled in, and then torches all around. You probably don't need to go that far out, but I just like to do it just to be safe. If you don't want any sheep or cows or chickens or anything spawning, you could change it from grass to cobblestone or wood or something other than grass. You want to make sure it is a block that mobs can spawn on. So maybe don't use glass. I don't think that'll work. I never tested it, but just to be safe, I would use a regular block. You could use concrete, cobblestone, anything like that. And then at the bottom here, make sure you light this area up. Otherwise, when you come in, you will be attacked. But I think that's everything that we need for this farm. Let me go through my checklist one more time, and then we can talk about all the drops you get from this farm and just other random things. All right, so I did a few tests. One was to replace all this grass with water, so you didn't have to torch everything. But that didn't work out so well. We got 54 drops in 20 minutes, so it was pretty slow. Nothing crazy. If you do torches and grass instead of water, you jump up to 149 drops in 10 minutes. So it's like 4 times as fast. And that is because of the way that the witch huts work, is they'll check to make sure other mobs can spawn first, and if they can, but it's lit up, then a witch will spawn. I also tested rates from AFKing way up here at like 120, just inside the spawning area of the witch hut, and then all the way at the bottom in our killing chamber. And it was a little bit better rates above, because I guess you're not loading as much. But it's not really worth the work. If you really want to go for efficiency, I would AFK at the top, just out of range, which I think is like 48 blocks from the spawning platform. But if you're not too worried about it and you want enough drops, then I would just do it down here. That way you can collect everything. You don't have to have water elevators for the XP and the items. This is what I will always do. It is plenty of drops. It was 149 drops compared to 165 drops in 10 minutes. But that is everything I have for the witch farm. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments down below. You can join my Discord. I'll answer all questions there. If you are new to the channel and you don't want to miss any future tutorials, or you want to watch some of my Let's Play series, I would consider subscribing. And yeah, if you liked today's episode, be sure to hit that like button. Thank you for joining me. I will see you guys in the next one.